Is this on? Are we rolling?
Yeah, I gave you food. Now let's get going.
Slave drivers. Well, hey, I'm Zombie Chick, and I'm here to do some zombie reviews. Now, if you hear some jingling in the background, don't worry. That's just Zombie Dog with his allergies this time of the year, so just to let you know. Now, also, there are some definite spoilers in these reviews, as I tend to tackle them to the ground and devour their innards. So just be forewarned. The first week on Zombie Chick, I've decided to do George Romero's 1968 Night of the Living Dead. Now, I know that some would say that you should never cut your teeth on a classic such as this, but really, who could resist this opportunity? George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, the black and white film that really started it all, a classic of the zombie genre. Romero coined the classic zombie. Now, if you've never seen this movie, I really have no idea what you're waiting for, and you're unable to call yourself a true zombie fan. This film is about a young woman named Barbara who seeks shelter in a farmhouse from the Walking Dead after a fresh zombie attacks her and her brother in a cemetery, only to discover that other passers-by had the same idea. Now, the household tries to protect themselves from the troves of Walking Dead outside by boarding up the house and formulating a plan to escape. Sounds pretty familiar, right? Now, the household finds it difficult to work cohesively as tensions, egos, and survival instincts rise between the characters. Night of the Living Dead is a low-budget film that offers entertainment, suspense, and, well, let's face it, laughs in today's movie market. One of the things I love about this movie, with the exception of the delicious Cajun blackened human recipe that is shown, is the lack of blood, guts, and gore. Now, I know it's hard to believe coming from a zombie, but I already lead the gory life, so I don't need to live it in the movies. Now, I believe it's one of the things that is missing in today's horror films. Or should I say, one of the things that's too prolific at times. Horror movies nowadays rely too heavily on grossing the audience out rather than building suspense, playing with their minds, making them unable to sleep with the lights off for a night or two. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do adore a good gore film at times. I mean, look at me. But the imagination is key in a good horror. It adds to the suspense of the film, heightening the viewer's anxiety levels. Now, granted, George Romero's lack of blood spatter may be due to a lack of budget and a sign of the times, but it really does add to the classic cult feel of this movie. Now, another tactic that you don't really see anymore in films that adds to the suspense is the lack of action in movies. You don't need some secondary character constantly flapping their brain-eating pie hole about asinine things just to fill time for the audience. Smart audiences don't want or need that. You don't need constant running around, jumping out of explosions, high energy, "I'm not gonna stop until I fuck you up" characters all the time. The audience needs that break time for the brain to settle. Brain. Sorry. And the viewer to de-escalate before you bring on the next scare. Give the viewer the roller coaster because that's life, or on life in my case, but either way, it's a roller coaster. In Night of the Living Dead, you're automatically sucked in by one of the longest, quietest car rides in the opening credits, with the exception of The Shining. You think, ooh, where are they taking us? What's going to happen to us? And you're pulled in for the ride. And this type of quiet calm plays an important role throughout the entire movie. Now, with all that said, we need to talk about some of the things that make this movie bad, but in an brain-eating good way. Now, just to warn you, this part may all run together into a little bit of a rant. but you know. Now, I had mentioned that I love the lack of blood, gore, violence, and action as we know it in today's movies. But this lack creates some of the most surreal, humorous moments in the movie, which falls into the hurt so good category. One of the things that really gets to you is the almost play fighting quality. One of my favorite instances is when Ben, our hero, uses the tire iron to beat the zombie that is in the house, sneaking up on Barbara. Now Ben runs at the zombie with his arm raised, prepared for a powerful blow to a head. This is it, you think. We're going to see some serious spatter, you say. And you prepare for the strike by pulling your feet up onto the couch and placing a throw pillow between you and the TV so that you don't get any of that sticky, salty, lusciously delicious gray matter all over you. And you wait. But no, somehow this uncoordinated, weak zombie puts his arm up to protect himself, and Ben drops the tire iron before he even makes the blow. And then they struggle against each other. What the hell, Ben? Do you have a grip of a newborn? And throughout the whole movie, they are reiterating the fact that us zombies are supposed to be weak. So why is there even a struggle in the first place? Oh, and is this zombie really dead? I mean, I saw the hole you put through his head by stabbing him with the tire iron once you threw him down. But in that one shot, yeah, that one, his eyes moved. That couldn't have found the editing room's floor. And then, to top this amazing fight off, our intelligent, cool-natured hero drags the zombie to the front porch and lights him on fire. Hey humans, did you catch that? I am a zombie. I hate fire. It scares me, true. But as a living, breathing, brain-toting human, you should know better than to start a bonfire on your front porch. Even we zombies know that that's not using your brain. And if you're not using it, I'm gonna eat it. Now, throughout this movie, there are some serious inconsistencies, or just little things that drive me crazy. When Barbara gets to the house, she looks through the rooms and out the window while it's still light out. I mean, like noon light. Within 20 seconds of her looking out the window and her trying the phone, it turns pitch black outside. Damn, that sun sets fast. Now, who keeps planks of wood under their kitchen sink? Was that a common thing in the 60s and 70s? And another thing, Ben tells Barbara,
this place is boarded up pretty solid now.
as an unboarded window was seen in the back of the room. And then in another scene, a window is boarded up, badly I might add, and the pane is in the up position so that a zombie can reach in through the openings in the wood. Yeah, nice job boarding up the house, Ben. You really outsmarted us this time. One scene that really made me laugh, though, and I really have no idea why, but we get a hug from the two young lovers upstairs. And at first watch, you might think that the boyfriend's just blinking because of everything that's going on. He's trying to hold back all the tears that are just rushing forth. But that's not the case. If you really look at it, her hair is actually in his eyes and he's trying to blink it out. Hilarious. But one of the things that really gets me in this movie is that, again, they constantly reiterate how weak and slow-moving and stupid we are, which, by the way, isn't true. It depends on many factors, but, you know, that's another episode. But they have scenes that don't follow their own rules. In the cemetery with the first zombie, Johnny is fighting with the zombie, and it looks like he's having a pretty rough time of it. Eventually, Johnny throws the zombie down onto the ground, and a logical thought for the viewer would be, or for Johnny would be, oh, he's slow moving, he's on the ground. it'll take him a few minutes to get up, so I have time to run away. But the zombie leaps not only back up to his feet, but at Johnny, taking him off balance. What the hell? We can't run, but we can forcibly leap at people? And if the adult zombies are so weak, then why in tarnations is the zombie little girl able to take out her mom? If they followed their own rules, escaping would be as easy as slashing your way through a jello forest. Now, I have no idea what I just said there or even what it means. It just sounded incredibly easy. And if we're supposed to be stupid in the movie, then why are we able to use tools to get the job done? In no other zombie movie do we use tools. We use our masses and our insatiable appetite to bring the living down and devour them. Not tools. In one scene, a zombie leaves its prey to go pick up a rock to use in order to bash in a window. In another scene, the little girl zombie takes a garden shovel off the basement wall to stab her mother with. Stab? We don't stab. We knock you down in your terror and go for the jugular. And lastly, now this is a true love-hate relationship with this movie that I personally have, is the confrontation between the characters. I've always hated Mr. Cooper for coming upstairs only to complain and tell everyone that if they wanted to be safe, they should go down in the cellar with him. And if they weren't going to go with him now, then he was going to lock it up and they weren't going to get in at all. Now, one side of me screams, who cares? If you're so sure about your plan and they're so sure about their plan, then just shut up and lock yourself downstairs already. Do everyone a favor and go. If you're busy arguing and sidetracked, I'm going to eat you. However, I think that this confrontation is what really makes this movie a true horror film. Stressful situations bring out the worst in people. It's true. Their true identities emerge, not to mention their animal instincts. And the thought that you are truly animals is scary to a lot of people because you strive so hard to rise above creating societies and stations and governments to help organize and keep you in your place. Night of the Living Dead gets you thinking about the deterioration of those things and how we brainless, quick-producing entities can overpower you structured, organized living organisms. That's what really makes this an amazing horror film, is because it gets you thinking about that. But social commentary or no, George Romero's Night of the Living Dead is an amazing movie that every zombie lover should watch. It is the classic which set the stage for every zombie movie after. George Romero did for zombie movies what Stan Lee did for comics. Oh man, what I wouldn't give to get my teeth on that brain. Anyway, check it out if you haven't already. You will not be let down. Now, if you have any questions, write me at zombiechick.reviews@gmail.com or visit me on Facebook, Zombie Chick. And remember, as long as I'm doing this, I don't have to go hunting for my brains. I'm a domesticated, sweet little zombie that gets fed. But if I'm no longer supported, then I'm back on your streets, hunting your brains. A little thought for you. I'm Zombie Chick, and I'll see you next time.